Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Phil with IP Tuts, and today I'm going to show you this blasting effect that I did for What the Hell Part 1 and or WTH Part 1, depending on how you want to pronounce it and or say it. Let me see if I can get a quick little snap view of it. Let me go ahead and here we go. I will be showing you how to do this crafty little uh, plasma beam slash ball thing effect. But today's actually going to be a little different. Usually I go step by step by step, in real time or whatever you want to call it. But today I'm actually just gonna just walk through it. Not really do it myself, but I'm gonna show you what I did. Simply because if I sit here and do it again, it's going to take hours upon hours, and trust me, you don't want to sit here with me and watch me do this for hours upon hours. So let me go ahead and get started on this so you're not sitting here for hours upon hours listening to me say hours upon hours. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this done. Alright, so we have a shot. Let me go ahead and solo this real quick. Okay, solo it, not turn on the audio. Go ahead and we have our shot, and it's actually fairly simple. When I planned this shot, I knew it was only going to be a good few frames. I didn't want it to really to emphasize this effect, but also show off the effect. And that's kind of the secret to doing these kind of things. You don't want to put too much emphasis on it, but you want it to be seen. And so this shot itself is actually only 10 frames long. I mean, that's all of it right there. Where it repeats, that's it. That's the shot. And so thank God it's not going to be too hard for us to do this. All right, so let me start off with the lights. The lights are actually very simple to do. Well, simple if you have a Video Copilot's Optical Flares, because those are simply just layers created uh, for just this right here. It's just a flare set to like 35 brightness, and I just tracked it to every single hole here, um, to create the light and or muzzle flash, if you will, for this blaster. Um, all I did was just track it, and let me go ahead and bring up the keyframes. I put it on here. I set it up right next to it where it needed to go, and then I went frame by frame and just repositioned the XY position on top of it. Um, and so it's only like 4 frames long. It wasn't going to be that big of a hassle. Um, I could have tracked it, but it would have took more time to track it than it would have been to do all the little holes here, by itself. So it was just a lot easier just to track it and just go frame by frame and just move it in according to where it needs to be. And after I did one, all I did was duplicate the layer like such, and then I would just move the XY position over the next hole. And so I did that for all of them. I don't even think, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I don't even think I moved it. I just moved the whole layer over like that. But no, I didn't do that. I went ahead and just used the XY position and just went frame by frame for 4. Came back, duplicated it, and so I did that for all of them. I think it's like 10 holes, I believe. All right, so that's how that happened. Let me go ahead and turn that off so I can get something else going for you. Let's see. The next thing would have to be the energy ball itself. The energy ball is probably the simplest thing besides maybe the glow on my face. Now, the energy ball itself is just a circle with motion blur turned on and a little bit of glow. Um, Here, all I did was put the circle in, keyframed it for 2 frames. Like I said, since the shot was only going to be a good 10 frames long, and it's a projectile, you will barely be able to see it, especially at the angle which I'm firing. And since the weapon is so close to the edge, um, since it's so close to the edge, it wasn't going to be in there for very long. What is that? 2 frames? 1, 2. That's it. Yeah, see. And so that's all it did. It just has a glow on there. Depending on your project, will depend on what color glow you use. And everything else is just going to be up to you. There's no set standard for this, since this is just your own personal preference as far as the way you want it to look. I left it in there for 2 frames. Tossed on some the composition motion blur. You always want to make sure that's selected as well. And there you go. Um, there goes the ball of energy. Now the plasma type of stuff, I don't even know what you'd call it, was easy as well. All that is trapcode particular uh, mixed with some CC vector blur and some glow. All I did here was just burst it for a frame. I'll go ahead and zoom in right here. Uh, I just burst it for a frame. I had to start off at a 3080, and then on frame 2 I put it down to 0, and then that would just kind of allow the rest of the particles themselves to kind of disperse and go on its way. This asset I used 2 other times, and both those other times are in the shattering effect, which that tutorial and or overview would be coming up after this one. So at the end there should be a link. So just click that and go into the shatter effect. Um, all right, so then sorry, I after I did that, I kind of just the Z position stays the same, I believe. Oh no, I moved the actual particle system itself in Z space, um, or kind of sort of in Z space to follow that of the gun. So when it would go, it would kind of give it the effect that it's leaving a trail behind, not only where it's shot, but also where the gun or the weapon is going relative to the recoil of the weapon firing. Um, that was kind of a lot right there. All right, so yeah, it's in this shot. It was supposed to be longer. I was actually supposed to pause and all this other stuff like way down here. Um, but I decided not to go with that. So yeah. So if it's this short, then you really don't have to worry about that, because like I said, it's only 10 frames long, and so to track all that probably won't be necessary. You can if you want, but it's totally up to you. Back on track, Phil. All right, so that's that. I kind of just tracked that for 1, 2, 3 frames, and just let the rest of the particles just burn off and do what it has to do. I tossed on a vector blur on top of that, as I will show you right here. Bam, vector blur. And what that does is it gives it like this organic type of plasma feel to it. It creates like these little veins, and it's just a little bit more alien-esque, if that's even a word. And so you get that. But that really doesn't feel very full. So what did I do? I added a glow to that sucker as well. Bam. Um, and it just gives it more of a bright type of feel to it. You add that with before I finish that. So okay, so that's that. That's the plasma blast, or the goodness, like as I usually call it. The glow on the face is easy. All I did was take my original footage layer and duplicate it. Let me go ahead and solo it, and then I just masked out where the light would be. Just went around, um, or rotoscoped, if you will. Um, Added a purple tint to it. Um, Changed the transfer mode to add the opacity to 47, and put it on top of my original layer, and then I just keyframed the opacity, so when it would come on when it's shot, it just popped on out of nowhere, and then the opacity just kind of went down to 0 as it all faded away. And after all that, you're left with you're left with a nice little chunk of goodness, as you can see. Um, there you have it, the blast effect. It's very simple. Pretty much anything is like that. Even when you're using actual guns, or not actual guns, but gun props, and you're doing muzzle flashes, it's the same exact thing. You want to do your lights. Um, Make sure you can do some shadow casting if you have to, depending on your shot and your angle. Um, but that's pretty much it's all the same thing. You create your light from the gun blast on yourself or on your actor here. Uh, you put in your muzzle flash. You probably wouldn't put in a projectile because the bullet would be too small and too fast for it to be seen. But that's it. So there you go. A quick little overview as far as that's concerned. Thank you for watching. If this was any help, give me some thumbs up. If you haven't seen the actual one, the link should be somewhere around here right about now, or maybe at the end of this. Uh, don't forget to subscribe, rate, comment, thumbs up. Also check out the Inconsistent Pictures fan page. I usually post up all kinds of good stuff, behind the scenes pictures and stuff that's just coming up. So if you want to know anything, you can also send me messages asking any kind of question. It doesn't really matter if it's visual effects related or graphic design related, or if you and your girl is having issues, or you and your man. You know what? just send me a question. I'll answer it. I don't even care what it is. Thank you for watching. I am Phil. This has been an IP Tut overview or quick view. I should probably start making this a series as well. All right. Also, click on the end. Check out the shadow effect, which I'm actually just gonna pause this and start on that right now. Thank you for watching again, and have fun.